Hello and welcome to week 2 of our course. Although week 2 doesn't really mean that you are actually in week 2, you could be starting unit 2 or module 2. However, it is the second week that our course is in session. So I just wanted to give you a couple of announcements just to make sure we're all on the same page. First, thank you so much for contributing to our definition of what it means to be in a community of learners for our online course. I'm going to add those norms into a second posting that you can go back to and add to whenever you feel free. Hopefully everyone had a great welcome within the posts and the conversations, and you feel like we're developing a sense of community. If you don't, feel free to let me know. Sorry about the glare on my glasses. I took them off the last few recordings so there wouldn't be such a glare. Anywho, so for this week, really quickly, a few things for you to keep in mind. Number one, the quizzes are starting and your interactive activities are beginning as well. So with the quizzes, you have 2 attempts, meaning that you will go in after your readings, contribute based on the reading check questions, which I try to make the quizzes only to kind of reiterate the key points that you should be picking up from the reading. So I didn't want you to have a whole bunch of new questions, but it is really to make sure that you understand the model, because after Unit 1 and Unit 2, you'll be putting into practice the universal design for learning. So the first unit is really for you to obtain a solid definition of UDL, or if you already have one, to expand on that definition so you know how to utilize it in full. One of the things I've learned as an educator is that oftentimes we get new methods, but we only halfway learn how to use them, which doesn't make it seem like it's effective in regards to really understanding how the model works and how to best use it. So that is the first thing. The module 1 is all about you really obtaining a solid definition. There are 2 quizzes. The quizzes can be taken the first time to show what you've learned. Then I'll go in and give you feedback. If you don't get the points that you feel you should have earned, you can go back in and retake it again for the second time. Module 2 starts to break down the principles, which I think are super important for you to grasp the particular details for each of the principles that make up UDL design. So I hope that it's clear that I know for some of you who are familiar with universal design for learning, you may feel like this is repetitive, but to ensure that we all have a shared understanding of it before you start getting assessed for the lesson plans that you create and also the examples that you provide, it is important that I take a couple of weeks to really dig deep into the method of curriculum design. So in addition to the quizzes that you will also have opportunities to do interactive learning. I did not set deadlines for the interactive individual activities or the collaborative work because previous models of Touro courses only had 2 deadlines, which were midterms and finals. So for this course, I felt like outside of the pacing that you should set for yourself, it may be important for you to self-regulate and decide when things should be due, other than the weekly quizzes and the midterm and the final project. With that being said, there are 9 weeks of content, but obviously our course ends on December 21st, and the collaborative work is due on a weekly basis. So please don't wait till the last minute to do any of the assignments. I try to pace things out and ensure that you're actually doing the work and doing the reading so you don't cheat yourself. I know a lot of you express wanting to really take something from the experience, and what I've often learned from being from the student side and the instructor side with online learning courses is that it's really easy to just kind of go through the content without fully grasping what you're learning. So these modules are set up for you to complete each item at a time. What I would recommend that you do, so I don't have to set deadlines for the collaborative work, is that you work within the module. So if you see a collaborative work activity, do for that module, which there should be one for every week except for the last 2 weeks, speak with your partners to make sure that you're all on the same page on when things should be completed or when you plan on completing the collaborative part of your role in that assignment. Next, let's see. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. My whole thing with grading is that this is not really me grading for assignment completion, but for you to grasp the entire concept covered throughout that module. So feel free to engage in dialogue with me. That's why I leave comments with the quizzes, and also feel free to engage in a conversation within the chats that are offered at the end of the discussions. Next, if you would like to have a more in-depth conversation, I am thinking about sometimes to create a Zoom or Google Chat option for our class for some more interactions, kind of like a face-to-face opportunity for those of you who really like that. If you're interested, please let me know. I'll have an announcement put out far as with an optional discussion board I'm going to create today, so that you can give me some best times that you may want a face-to-face discussion with the entire class, and I can set that up. And I think that's it for this week. So the key thing is that you're working in modules 1 and 2. You should be able to go through module 1 really quickly. I tried to add in some audio lecturing for those of you who like the audio piece. I may add in some video lectures if I see that people are having a hard time grasping the content in regards to quiz responses that I receive. But for the most part, it seems like we're off to a great start, and I'm looking forward to our course. Please feel free to email or send a inbox message through Canvas, or feel free to call. I'm typically online all the time, as my other full-time job is actually an embedded instructional technologist. So when I am not working with items for this class, I'm actually helping people facilitate their own learning environments through UNLV. So typically I'm online all the time, but don't abuse that. I'm here to help you in any way that I can to ensure that you are getting the best out of the experience that you have. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the next week's content.